Hello everyone. So I'm going to start the session. This is the second session that we are going to start with performance management subject. So that I want to tell you is this is a kind of subject that is not very much. I mean, it's not very much interesting subject, but the thing is that you want to know. I'm always telling you that I'm not going to give you loads of notes, right? I'm not going to give you loads of notes. The things that the things that I will be doing, that would be more than sufficient for you to write for the examination, right? If you're joining every day, and if you're listening to the recordings every day, especially, so then you will recap what we have done. So basically, before I start, every time I will be coming up with what we have done up to now. And with that recap, I will be starting the today's session. So then normally, so when it comes to a 3 hour session, I can talk and talk and talk aloud and give you loads of notes. But that is not my point. So I just want you to get the things that we are discussing very deeply, because for your level that is more than sufficient, the things what we are discussing. So we've been, therefore I am just giving you the recap what we have done. And the thing is, the videos that I will be showing is very, very important for you, because these videos always will be relating, at the end of the day it will be relating to your examinations also. So there are some specific videos, sometimes I will be showing you 2-3 times probably, right? Because these videos are really important for you to understand how a performance evaluation is done, how the other evaluations that we are going to do normally. Now there are a lot of students who are working as well as non-working students. So when it comes to working students, they may have a little bit of idea what's performance management is, what's a performance evaluation is. But students who are not working, definitely they do not have a proper idea on what is a performance evaluation. Now, even when I was learning in my university level also, I had no proper idea about this performance management, how that is happening. Because we never had videos and just get to know this is a kind of a performance evaluation is happening. So, but that chance is with you. Normally, sometimes we are not showing these kind of videos for sometimes for internal students, internal university students with maybe with sound issues, maybe with video issues, maybe board issues. So there are some issues. But when we are going through with these online sessions, definitely you have that chance as well. So whatever the video that I will be showing you, please do not skip, right? Because some videos, they just go to like 5 to 8 minutes like. So it means it is important. That's why I'm leaving it for you to watch. So make sure you are watching it very carefully, because there are things that we will be discussing in the latter part. So then you will be knowing what's the importance of watching all the things from the beginning to the end. So that is really important, right? So, right. So let me recap what we have done earlier with this one, as this is the second note that we are going to do, second day, not the second note, of course, the second day. So you can see, normally when I take one the tute, I will be coming up with a lot of slides. Rather than 20 slides, I will be just giving you a lot of slides at a stretch, because then I can make sure that you get the note before you come to the lecture. So that's why, that's the main purpose of that I'm coming up with a lot of notes. So, but even in the same topic, same same topic, we will be discussing several and different aspects, right? So do not think this is an introduction topic. This is a kind of a thing that you would be getting the base. So most of the questions will be coming from this first tute. That is very important for you to remember, right? Because at the end of the day, what you want is to get good marks. right? So that's what you want. So if you are just watching the videos every day, definitely I'm sure every day in the sense, once we do, you will be able to get a good pass, because I'm coming up with I'm coming with a recap, and I'm starting the next one. So then probably you may have totally forgotten what we've been discussing with, right? So normally that happens because after 2, 3 weeks, once again it comes, probably you may have forgotten what we have discussed. So that's why I'm just coming through with recap. So then you can go through it, right? So when it comes to performance management, okay, I told you that this definition is quite important, right? Because the performance, but I will be telling you, you can make up your own definition. I told you last week also, you can make up your own definition with some elements. So those are the things that I want to focus on here. So this definition is more appropriate as a definition, right? But rather than asking you to define, I will be just like, if I ask a question, I will be asking, what is performance management? So then if I ask you to define, so normally you have to be very specific on the wordings, what the author has given. So the same wordings you have to go through. ඒ වචනෙන් ඒ විදිහටම ලියන්න වෙනවා. Define කියන එක. But when it comes to what, if I ask what is that, so then you can have your own words as well, because I know some people are working here. So එතකොට ඒක කටපාඩම් කරන, you have to by heart that if I ask you to define. So there, that is why I'm getting that technique. So when I ask what is, you can make up things, you can collect things, and you can have your own definition as well. So then it is not wrong. But if I ask a definition and if you are not in a position to define it as per the author කියපු විදිහටම define කරගන්න බැරි වුණොත්, that would be a huge problem for you. So let me come into the most important part. So that is the first thing that we are focusing is what? Shared meaningful objectives, right? So whatever we do here, the performance management will be focusing on how to develop individuals' competence, right? How we are going to, we would be focusing on these individuals as an individual wise, right? Individually we would be looking at you. Individually we will be giving you feedback. Individually we will be giving you the supervision. So then you will be individually developed. Once you individually develop and once you go with a team, so definitely you will be able to go with a proper organization as well, because your competence goes up. So when you work with a group as well, you are a one who is with a lot of competence. So that is important, right? So now you see the development of individuals with competence and commitment, right? So we want employees who have the competence as well as the commitment. සමහර employees ලා ඉන්නවා, they have the competence, හැකියාව තියෙනවා කරන්න, but they are not committed, right? Now these days, if you see, most of the organizations, the employees' performance have gone down. That is a research what we have found out in these days. Why? Because people say, if once we ask why the performance is not there as how you have done earlier, because the economic benefit that we are getting is not equal as what we have got earlier. කලින් හම්බුන salary එකත් එක්ක දැන් බලනකොට මේ ඒ salary එකමයි හම්බෙන්නේ අපිට, it is not worth for us, right? So that is a huge problem. So they think, why should we commit? මේ පඩියට වැඩ කරන්න නම් අයි අපි මැරිගෙන වටනවානේ. That's what they are saying. So you have the competence, but the commitment is not there, right? So whatever you do, probably you may be working in night, probably you may be working in day, maybe day and night. Now, if I take you sometimes, you are still logging into the lecture, maybe working in the daytime also. So that's your commitment. That shows your commitment. So we need employees, not only who is having the competence, but we as performance management is focusing on upgrading the what? Commitment of the employees as well, right? So that will be leading to achieve organizational goals and objectives. So simply, we need employees who can work effectively and efficiently. So I defined these words. So when it comes to effectiveness, it means you are doing the right things. You are doing the right things. You are doing the right thing means at the very first time you take the right decisions. If you have the knowledge, if you have the experience, if you are good in that, if you have educated in that, your tendency to take right decisions is high. So that's what we want to do. We evaluate you, we teach you, we train you, we guide you to make more competent and committed employees. So effectiveness. Efficiency in the sense what we discussed, you do things right. You do things right. There, you do right things. Efficiency means you do things right. So that means, again, you want to have sufficient skills for that. You should have the knowledge, you should have the competence. Then your wastages will be always lower. If you do not have the right competence, think about a dress that I will be giving you a cloth and I ask you to make a dress, but you do not have sufficient skill. So you will be wasting the cloth to make a dress. But if you are a capable one, you will be making 3-4 dresses out of the cloth. So it's like that. So efficiency, doing things in a, what you call, with less wastages. So that's what we discussed, performance, these definitions. And basically, we discussed about vertical and horizontal integrations, right? I'm just showing you these things to give you a recap of what we have done, right? So, and we discussed about the guiding principles for effective performance management. So this is, again, I'm reminding you because these things are related. So the today's topic is related to the next day. So likewise, it will be related. So that is important, right? So now look at when it comes to guiding principles for effective performance management, right? So these are the principles. With what it starts, right? The first one, it says what? What is the first guiding principle for effective performance management? Should be an ongoing process of setting expectation, executing plans, and evaluating results. So I told you, whatever we do in management, the first thing is we set our expectations, our plan, our goal. Setting expectation means what? Setting our goals, setting our objectives, right? And we execute our plans. Then evaluate the results, right? The first step, the first principle of performance management. Then this next one is what? Expectation should be explicit and mutually understood. It should be expressed. What you expect, you should let know. Otherwise, how can I know? Now, sometimes you have, if you are married, your wife never says what she wants at her birthday. Or maybe, but now if you see in FB, Facebook, YouTube and all, you could see how the husbands are surprising their wives. Think about your husbands. Are they surprising you as well? So, right. So, normally you have now, as an example, the wife will never say what she wants. So, you also don't know what she wants. You give whatever the gift that you prefer to give her, right? So that she is not happy with the gift. When you ask from her, what do you want? She says, no, I don't want anything. That's fine. I don't want anything. No need to spend money and all. But if you do not give anything, or if you give something else, definitely she is angry. She will not cook for you. She will be very angry. So likewise, what that means? That is why it is always better to explicit. You have to tell. You have to tell this is what we are going to achieve. I think I have shown you the Disneyland video, as I can remember. I'm not particularly sure because the same topic I'm doing for several batches. When it comes to this, let me show you that video again. I'm not sure whether I've showed you. Even I have shown you, that's fine. You just watch it. we call the Disneyland is one of the best organization which could explicit to their employees. It means to express to their employees what they expect from their employees. So once we tell them what we are expecting from them, they know what to do. They know how to work, what to do, and it is mutually understood. So that is very clear. So anyway, let me show you that video of probably I may have shown you and probably I may have not, but I just want, because this video is also again important. I will be taking in several times when I discuss about this vision, mission and goal achievement and all. So Disney, look at, when it comes to this Disneyland advertisement, look at the way how employees behave, how much they, now if you take the Disneyland vision, the Disneyland vision is to make people happy. To make people happy. If you go to one of our leisure world, if you go to one of our theme parks, it's just like going in a private bus, because no one wants to make people happy. No one wants to make customers happy because they have not communicated well what they want to do really. Look at this Disneyland advertisement. So you could see even they are hungry, even they are tired, even whatever. Look at the effort that they are taking to make people happy. Just watch it.
There's no better place for new adventures, for making new friends and memories you'll never forget than right here at Disneyland Resort. And with so much to see and do, you'll find more ways and want more days to experience as much of the magic as you possibly can. So where's the best place to start? Disney California Adventure Park, of course. Here, you'll discover themed lands filled with dozens of favorite attractions, including exciting new additions like Guardians of the Galaxy, Mission Breakout. Plus, you'll be treated to some of the most spectacular, world-class entertainment you've ever seen, both day and night. When you're ready, more amazing lands are waiting to be explored in the one and only Disneyland Park. Feel the magic in the air as your imagination soars on adventures to other worlds. Bring storybook tales to life before your eyes and ignites your spirit of wonder with one unforgettable experience after another. But don't forget, there's even more fun just steps away in the high-energy downtown Disney district. Shop, dine, and be entertained, all in true Disney style, right here in the heart of the Disneyland Resort. And if you really want to make the most of your visit, stay in the middle of the magic at one of the uniquely themed Disneyland Resort hotels. Thanks to legendary Disney service and magical touches everywhere you go, you'll feel positively pixie dusted your entire stay. So now that you've gotten a taste of what's in store, get set for the vacation of a lifetime, one filled with day after day and night after night of pure Disney magic. No wonder there's no better place to be than at the happiest place on Earth.
So what Disneyland wants to highlight, so they want to make people happy and to make the world's happiest place. So you could see even from by looking at this advertisement, and if you have been to Disneyland, you know what's the difference between one. Normally, when you may have gone to Malaysia and Singapore and different theme parks, right? So if you compare with all these theme parks, nothing is compared to Disneyland, because Disneyland is a company which has embedded to their employees. That is the most popular company that has embedded what they need to expect from what they are expecting from their employees. So very nicely and mutually understood. So you can see once we set plans, we set our expectations, right? And then we want to communicate to our employees what I am expecting from you. Otherwise, the employees do not know what to do. So that's why once we go to this leisure world also, it's just like going in a private bus. So it is not what we expect. So it is actually, it is even not a theme park when we compare with Disneyland and all. So that's the difference, right? Not only the facilities, not only the quality, but how the employees are treating, right? So now we have set the plan. Now remember all these things. That is why I am stopping by important points and just focusing on, because these things are relating to the other sessions as well, right? So the first one, we set the plan and we execute the plan and evaluate the results, and we express to our employees what we expect from them. So then we can create a very good mutual understanding. Then engagement is increased when people are involved in planning in the work. That is a very important principle. Why? Now think about, now I'm telling you, you will, if everyone is coming physically, right? I would be telling you, okay, you do like this. I will give you a group activity. You can do any entertainment activity and just come up with your idea. So think about, your idea is now accepted. So what will you do? As your idea is accepted, you will be doing everything to make it success. Probably the other people may be free riders, other people may not be contributing, but you would be just asking them to come. You do this one, you allocate things, you organize things. Why? Because it is your own idea. So very similarly, this is very important in organizations also. We take the employees' engagement in decision making, in planning of the work. තමයි ගොඩක් වෙලාවට ඔය ඔගොල්ලෝ අහලා ඇති the quality councils and quality circles, specifically quality circles are, it's like organized in the organization. Voluntarily people get together to increase the quality level of the organization, right? Maybe how to use cutleries, maybe how to use water, how we should not waste water, how to use papers, so like this. Maybe even small things to designing of products. So likewise, you have to take people involved in planning. Okay, so that's for an example in performance management. Think about, okay, the management says you need to sew 100 pieces per day. Employee කෙනෙක් දවසට 100ක් මහන්න ඕන, right? So what would be decided? So you also come into the plan. So then you say, okay, no, we are not in a position to go for 100 pieces. We will be going up to 85 pieces. So because this is our capacity, this is the machine capacity. So likewise, you engage in the planning. So that is your plan also. Then management says, okay, we agree. Then what will happen? As you promise this thing, you have to work on that. So you are not individually going doing this one. Normally the trade union leader will be doing. So he's the one who is representing all the employees. So then you would be making it a success. And the fourth principle is what? So how work gets done. In the third one that I want to highlight is, when you are involving with what you want to do, the employee will be fully committed on that, right? So the fourth principle in performance management is how work gets. I am explaining these things because sometimes I may be asking, write 5 guiding principles of performance management and briefly explain. And you should be able to not only to write, but to briefly explain as well. So therefore, whenever I explain things, it means it's important, right? So you may have to take some notes as your notes. Now you are spending 3 hours here. If you are just listening, that is also fine. At least you are listening, right? So, but if you can take papers and write down your notes, that would be more important. So you have your own note, right? And the fourth principle is what? How work gets accomplished. Let me make this one a little smaller. Okay. how work gets accomplished is as important as what gets accomplished. It's not about how we do these things, but what we do, what we accomplish is important, not only how we accomplish things. Okay. So, because outcome is the thing, what? It explains what. Outcome explains what get accomplished. So the fifth one is what? Regular, honest feedback increases understanding and positive performance. Now, whose feedback? Most of the times, the evaluators' feedback. Evaluators are the most of the times the management. So they should give very regular and honest feedback. Otherwise, people now, I don't know whether I can find a video. Let me, because I'll show you performance evaluation role play India. I'm not particularly sure with at the moment I will be able to find that one. I have used this to show, but now I think I'm not, this one. Now look at, this is a short movie, right? In this short movie, you can see how this lady is influencing the manager to take decisions, right? So to do a performance evaluation more appropriately. So not appropriately, being biased. So that is a huge problem. Let me show you this short film, and then you will have an understanding what is the importance of having honest feedback. So, but here the manager is trying to explain the employee as much as possible that what he really needs to do. You just watch it, then I will be coming into that.
I can come back later.
No, just give me 1 minute. I need to send this mail. Done. You okay?
Yeah.
So let's have the annual review for 2018.
Yeah.
I see that you have not mentioned one of the goals.
Yeah.
Did you miss to do it or you did it deliberately?
No. I have an explanation for it.
Okay, hold on. Let's take a step back. Let's do this one by one.
Okay. As you wish.
Your first goal was very straightforward. I feel that I would rate it met expectation.
I would say it exceeded expectations. What were you expecting?
Well, whatever you demonstrated, I felt that it was part of your responsibility.
So, what do I need to do to exceed expectations?
Something like increased productivity or trained interns for that matter.
Oh, I see.
Okay, don't worry. I'll change this to a rating 5, which means exceeds expectation. But you need to understand that if I give you this rating, I will be answerable to the management.
So, then answer them. Otherwise, leave it. I can also talk to the management.
Okay, let's move forward now. Goal 2 production support. I see that you rated yourself 5,
Yes. Why not?
but I think 5 is exceptional.
So, whenever I was asked for support, I gave it. What else do you want me to do?
Listen, I will have to give justification. I will have to write to the management why I'm giving you this rating. And how do you justify?
See, when the opportunity arose to give support, I have given it. If there was no opportunity, what am I supposed to do?
Look, Anita did more than she was required to do. She even got recognized by the business. Now, that is justification.
So, why don't you give me the appreciation?
I can't. I really want to, but my hands are tied.
You take care of it.
Let's not argue on this. Let's finish off with this and get going.
No, no. What rating would you give me?
I would give you a 3.
No way. Come on. Make it 4.
I can't. There is already a complaint from the team saying that you were not present most of the time for production support.
You know exactly why I was not present for production support.
I know. The management also is aware of it.
Okay. Give me 3.5.
Is it a joke? What are you saying? Point? It doesn't work. 0.5, 3.5. It's either 3, 4 or 5. That's how it is.
Okay.
Now, moving on. Goal 3. This project had a lot of issues, a lot of flaws. You know, it was just not a successful project.
Look, it was not my fault. There were other people also on the team.
Yeah, but I can't give you or other people in the team a 3, which is goal met.
What? I don't know if I can trust you. Looks like I'll lose my job.
No,
Oh my god.
no. Don't worry about it. I will set an action plan for next year. Everything will be all right. Don't worry.
And that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
What if the management says that I have not met one of my goals, one of them is 3 and the other one is 2?
If they talk something like that, I will handle it. Don't worry. I'm there, no?
Okay. What about my increment?
Well, I think...
Okay, now this video actually continues. So likewise, now they are talking about this one and and the lady is influencing. So these type of things actually can happen in real life as well, right? So once we know the evaluator very well, that can be really problematic because it would be very difficult for him to or her to evaluate the person. So normally these things are happening in Sri Lanka and India. That's why when I was looking for these videos, the Indian video that I found, this one. So you can see now he's not giving sometimes the honest feedback. So what will be happening? The management would be misleading. The management will be giving the promotion for the wrong person. So that will be leading not to achieve the expectations of the organizational goals. So in order to stop that one, that is why there is this important guiding principle. That's what we call this one as a guiding principle. This should be in your mind. The feedback, the evaluator who is giving the evaluation should give honest feedbacks. Then only this can be done properly, right? So these 5 principles that every evaluator should keep it in their mind. So still I am in this recap, right? So the purpose of the purpose of performance management. So this is the most important thing that we are going to discuss. So you can see there are some other principles. These are principles of performance management. Here what I was talking about, guiding principles for effective performance management. Don't mix up, right? So these are principles of performance management. Even these principles you can think and write even, right? You can see translating corporate goals into individual team. So we discussed this. If you do not translate the individual goals to organizational goals, they will never work. කාටවත් උවමනාවක් තියනද organization එකට වැඩිපුර සල්ලි හම්බ කරලා දෙන්න? Wants. Everyone wants their salary. Everyone wants their increment, their wealth, their upgrades, not the companies. But that is why the organization wants to always link. If you achieve this target, you would be you would get increments, you would get bonuses, you would be promoted. So likewise, then people are working for the promotion. People are working for the increment. So ultimately, the organizational goal is also get achieved. So likewise, we explain what is the corporate goal. And so likewise, there are a lot of things we discussed under these principles. So when it comes to so these things, again, principles of performance management, and we went through with this video just to show you. And I ask you that the highlighting these things are really, really important for your exams, as well as to match every answer, right? When you write in most of the answers, this is very important. Simply, you can make your definition also out of these highlighted things. So here what it says, the main purpose of performance management. So that is what? It is to improve the individual, team, and then organizational effectiveness. You cannot expect organizational effectiveness or team effectiveness unless you develop the individuals, right? So therefore, that is why after a performance evaluation, they reward people. That is why after the evaluation, they give trainings, they make development programs. Why? Because it's really important, right? There. So therefore, the first thing that you want to keep it in your mind is what? The performance management is look forward in order to improve the individual and team organizational effectiveness. Then, through that employee development, they are expecting to develop the employees, their skills, and what I told you. But can you remember? Competence and commitment, right? As I told you, we need competent and what do you call competent and committed employee. So therefore, we need such developed employees. So that is why we are looking at individual basis and team basis, then in order to develop these employees. And satisfying the needs, the next one. There are 4 things that we are highlighting under the purpose of this performance management. So it is the purpose of management. Simply, when I ask you what is performance management, or to briefly explain performance management, still you can use all these 4 combined and give your answer, right? So the next one is what? Satisfying the needs and expectation of an organizational stakeholders. So stakeholders means what? Who? The people who have an interest in your business. business owners, management, employees, customers, suppliers, public, so maybe government, everything, right? So we need to satisfy the needs and expectation of the organizational stakeholders also. Let me show you a place where the organization could not meet the customer satisfaction, right? Watch this advertisement. You may have heard about Manchi Curry Puff, right? Manchi Curry Puff. Let me explain the first. This first, if you have not heard about Manchi Curry Puff, Manchi is, normally remember all the examples and I'm talking about, because these are important when I ask you to write with the examples and all, right? There's no rocket science in this performance management subject, as long as you can listen and understand, right? So the CBL company, simply the Manchi company, their goals and objectives are what? Simply, their goal is to bring novel products, innovation, innovativeness. While Melbourne is focusing what? Melbourne is focusing the quality of the biscuit. That is why they are not moving for a lot of biscuit varieties, but they always try to keep the quality of the products. Even they bake the biscuits, they try to keep all these vitamins and all these things without burning. They try to keep the quality of the biscuit. But the Manchi doesn't care about that. They always go for innovation. So that is why they have a lot of variety of products. So as a result, they are recognizing in rural areas, you can see in very remote areas, there is no way to get short eats, right? In the evenings or maybe in the afternoons, there is no way to get short eats. Availability is less. Short eats හැමතැනින්ම ගන්න නෑනේ ගම් ඈත දුර දුර අස්වල් වලට ගියාම. But a biscuit can reach, right? පොඩි කඩ හැමතැනම තියෙනවනේ කොයි ලෝකේ වුණත් කැලෑවක වුණත් චූටි කඩ තියෙනවා, right? So this biscuit can reach. So what they wanted is they wanted to introduce a biscuit like shorty. So what they did, they introduced the biscuit like you know lemon puff biscuit. So within this lemon, like the lemon puff biscuit, they introduced this one, a cream inside. That cream is like chopped curry. So what happened? The people really refused this one. මිනිස්සු කැමති උනේ නැහැ මේ chop කරපු curry එකක් වගේ එකක් biscuit එකක් ඇතුළේ තියෙනකොට people said it's yucky. So that's what I wanted to show you that video, because they invested a lot on this Manchi curry puff product. Watch this advertisement.
වෙළඳ පොලේ අඩුම මිලකට ඇති ලයිෆ් බොයි තවත් රුපියල් 25 තරයක් සමගින් දැන් රුපියල් 160යි.
අදත් හැමදාම තියෙන කරිද? නංගි නැද්ද අලුත් જાතියක්?
තාම හදනවා.
නංගි මම හොඩි හැරිසන්ගේ මිනිහෙක්. බලාගමු හරිද?
අපේ හොඩි හැරිසන්.
අලුත් කරි જાතියක් තියෙනවා නම් ලොකෙන් එකක් ගේනවා හොඳයි.
පොඩ්ඩක් ඉන්න.
අතේ මරුනේ බිස්කට් මැද්දේ කරි ක්‍රීම්. ඊට කලින් කවදාවත් කාලා නෑ හොදේ අයියා.
මංචි කරි පෆ් වෙන විදියක පෆ් එකක්.
Okay. එතකොට දැක්ක නේද ඒ ඇඩ්වර්ටයිස්මන්ට් එක. දැන් මේ මංචි කරි පෆ් කියන ඇඩ්වර්ටයිස් ඒ බිස්කට් එක customer satisfaction nil. No customer satisfaction at all. And all the public comments were very bad on this one. So you could see now it is no more available in the market. It's dramatically, it failed, right? It was a failed product. So performance is also like this, right? So the main purpose is, but now look at that is designed by the designers in the company, right? Without doing a proper market analysis, they designed this biscuit and it was a failure. They have invested on this Manchi curry puff thing a lot of making up name boards for stalls, boutiques and all, lot of investments they went with in order to promote the biscuit, but they couldn't promote it. So the first thing is what your employee should work on. They focus on how to satisfy each party. How to satisfy the customers, how to satisfy the management, how to satisfy the stakeholders, owners, suppliers. So if you are directly dealing with the suppliers, so you want to know how to satisfy them. Probably you are into, let's say you are into accountancy department. You are not dealing with suppliers. So then it is not your responsibility. The people who are dealing with the suppliers, they want to know how to do these things. So likewise, when you are dealing with customers, so once the organization can satisfy that, so that's we need such employees who can reach employee, customer, supplier, all this stakeholder satisfaction. That is what the Toyota company is promoting. They always promote every employee to come up with designs, whatever they like, if they like to contribute for the organization. Once they come up with new features, new additions for vehicles, they get huge promotions with a bulk of money, right? So that's how they promote. That's how they see the performance. So what the people are doing? People are very keen on bringing up new designs, new things, right? So that is how we connected the individual goals with the organizational goals, right? So the other part, the thing that we are talking about is communication and involvement, right? Communication and involvement. When it comes to communication and involvement, that's what I was showing you this video also, this Disneyland video, in order to show you that this communication is very important. Once you communicate the vision, mission, values of the organization, what we are expecting, what we want to achieve, people know what I have to do because your duty is very clear what you want to do. Then your involvement is high. You can see in this video, also the Disneyland video, how the people are involving, the employees are involving to make people happy, taking photos with them, smiling, laughing, even they were up as a tree, even they were up as a mermaid, staying in the water for whole day. Look at how they're trying to make the customers happy. Because make the customers happy is their vision. But if you go for this leisure world or for this, what do you call, there are a lot of theme parks, right? So this, what do you call, Guruge Park or wherever, can you find such kind of a great and super customer service? They have customer service. Of course, every place, now good customer service is there, but it is not unique because employees have not been communicated well what they want to do. So that is why the involvement is less also, right? So you can make your own definition also. If I ask you what is performance management, simply performance management is to upgrade the effectiveness of individual team organizational effectiveness by developing all employees to and communicating the company goals, vision, mission, and objectives through a proper involvement to satisfy all stakeholders of the company and to achieve organizational goals and objectives. So because it is mandatory for you to remember the things what is highlighted in the color, yellow color, right? Because that is really important. So that up to that level we discussed, right? Up to that level we discussed. Now I'm gonna start from ethical considerations, right? So that's what I told you. I will be always giving you a recap on what we are doing. So because then you will remember what we have done rather than just starting and just talking and talking. You know, when it comes to adult education, it is not the way how we are going to teach you as you have learned in your school time or maybe another program, right? When it comes to this timing and everything, we would be looking at your involvement again, right? And how to keep you awake, how to make the subject more interesting. So that is why rather than explaining everything from my mouth, I just want you to show the videos, then you know, okay, this is what she's explaining. This is what. So it is evident. It is when it is evident, පැහැදිලිනේ කොහොමද මේක වෙන්නේ කියලා, then that is more important. So what are the ethical considerations that we are talking under, right? So performance management should operate in accordance with the following ethical principles defined by Westminster and Smith, right? So simply we would have to look into ethical considerations. It means we should be very ethical for every person. We'll see what are the ethical considerations once we do a performance evaluation. Respect for the individual people should be treated as ends in themselves and not merely as means to other ends. What that means? Again, we read. Respect for the individual people. Individual people should be treated as ends in themselves, not as merely as mean to other ends. It means we have to look into every time person as an individual person. We should not see if she is not working, the other person cannot work. Now, because everyone is a supplier to the other one. Think about a garment manufacturing company, right? You are a sewing operator, right? You are a sewing operator. When you become a sewing operator, who is your supplier? Your supplier is the cutting person, the person who cuts the cloth and give it to you to sew. Cutting person's supply is who? The washing person. The clothes should be washed. Then it should be delivered to the cutting person. It should be delivered to the sewing person. It should be delivered to the quality assurance and packing. So likewise, it goes. Every person is a customer-supplier relationship is there, right? We are not just talking about the external suppliers, but the customer-supplier relationship is there. Here it says, we should not say, okay, that මෙයා මේක කරේ නැත්තම් හරියට අනිත්‍යයට හරියට කරගන්න බෑ. ඒක නිසා we need to treat them. No. We should respect individuals for who they are. Now, if you sometimes you may also get conflicts and a lot of arguments with your partners, right? Why? Because the partner is not you are. She or he is different. His attitude is different. We cannot find identical ones. If you can find identical ones, it should be from another planet. I believe it can be an alien, right? You never can find an identical one. Somewhere, probably, even if you have most of the time same, interest, there are things which are different. So in those cases, you go for arguments and all, but you should always respect who the person is. Whoever it is, because we need to understand. So because performance evaluations and performance management is done by the HR department. So when we are into HR department, we always have to treat individual people and we need to respect them as individuals, right? They have individual differences. And the next one is what? Mutual respect the parties involved in performance management processes should respect each other's needs and recognition. Here what it says, here once we look into, what do you mean by preoccupations? Preoccupations means once you do your work, right? In order to do this work, what are the needs that the other people needs to be fulfilled, right? Mutually, you need to respect. Now, I told you every time there is a supplier-customer relationship, right? So, you need to respect your supplier always. If you are the supplier, you need to respect your customer always, because always you would be having a supplier and a customer. If I am the sewing person, my supplier is the cutting person, my customer is the quality assurance maybe, or maybe the packaging. So likewise, anyway, quality checking is going on. After that on, the package will be good. So likewise, you need to respect each other's needs and preoccupation means that. You need to understand, if you do not wash the clothes, the other one's preoccupation is what? He cannot sew the clothes. He cannot cut the clothes. So you need to understand what they want. Sometimes we come into arguments with the organizations. I can't do this one. I don't have facilities. I don't do that one, this thing. And you're asking me to do this one. මට මේක කරන්න කියනවා. මට මේකත් නෑ, අරකට නෑ, computer එකත් කැඩිලා, ඒක වැඩ කරන්නෙත් නෑ, batteryත් නෑ. So likewise, a lot of problems. But you need to understand what the other person is really saying. එයාට ඒක වැඩ කරගන්න විදිහ නැහැ. If you do not do that, so you have to respect it. You may want to ask the help from the management, but you need to respect them. ඔයා ඕක මට කරන්න කිව්වට මට කරන්න බෑනේ, මේක මට අදාළ documents ඇවිල්ලත් නැහැ, මට මුකුත් නැහැ, so I can't do කියලා කිව්වම what will happen? The other person also get stressful. He also get irritated, dissatisfied. So you should not do that. It is ethically wrong. So you need to mutually respect each other's needs and preoccupations. And the procedural fairness, the procedures incorporated in performance management should be operated fairly so as to limit the adverse effect on individuals. What that means? It means there are procedures in organizations, right? You have to be very fair on procedures. Let me come into this one. Think about, there is a procedure in the organization. The company is not going to take any outsider for managerial positions. Only the internal employees will be promoted to managerial positions. Now there is a procedure in the organization. All the way along, the organization's management has done this procedure. But suddenly a new director comes and he says, no, I'm going to call a marketing manager, HR manager, all the managers from the outside, not from any internal. So what will be happening? The people who are internally qualified for this one, if there are no qualified people, still that's all right. Let's assume in order to become a manager, you need to have a master's degree, right? That is a principle of the organization. But no one has still completed a master's degree. So then that is fine to call one from the outside because there are no qualified people. But think about, there are having qualified people, experienced qualified people. If the organization is go beyond this procedure, the people who have waited for this managerial position get frustrated. It is not fair at all, right? සිසේත්ම සාධාරණ නෑනේ. කවුරුත් ගානක් මෙතන වැඩ කළා මාස්ටර්ස් ඩිග්‍රී කළා ඒක හදාගෙන බලාගෙන ඉන්නවා. He needs to go to that position. But the new director is calling from somewhere else for the managerial position. Then what will happen? So therefore, that is why it will go for adverse effects of individuals. එතකොට තමයි strikes පටන් ගන්න, කෑ ගහන්න, employee voice, employee strikes, lockouts, right? Employee burnout, stress, everything. So in order to stop these adverse effects, you should always go for this, what? Procedural fairness. You should be fair. Of course, if there are no proper qualified people after doing the performance evaluation, if you see no qualified people, that's fine to go for the outside. But it does not mean that you have to do always the procedure what is expected. No, you can change it fairly. So that's what it says. So that is also an ethical consideration that you have to consider. The other one is what? Transparency, people affected by decisions. People affected by decisions emerging from the performance management process should have the opportunity to scrutinize the basis upon which decisions were made. So whatever the decision you are going to make, it should be very transparent. Now you saw the video, now just I show you. There is no transparency at all. Why? Transparency in the sense, if whoever sees that one, there should be a fair reason for that, right? So I think I show you the video of a good performance management as well in the very first day. So let me show you that one. If I have not shown you that video, please let me know, because it is mandatory to watch that performance evaluation video. Performance appraisal. This video. This is about poor performance evaluation, but I think I just wanted to get the best performance evaluation role play of this one. I think this video I have shown you. If it's not, please let me know even through the chat box. Let me know that I have not shown you, because it is mandatory for you to watch. All the way time I will be taking this video for explanations, right? This video will be always related to the next session, always until we end this one. So this is a performance evaluation interview between a principal and the teacher. She is the principal, she is the teacher. The principal in the sense, anyway, the evaluator can be the principal or maybe someone else, the evaluator or the management maybe, right? The evaluator, she is the teacher. So there in this video, it's very clearly shown what very transparent. She very clearly says, these are our goals. So I could see that you have not very much good with the customer. So I'm giving you 3, right? And I'm giving you 4 for this teamwork because you have done a very good job. So likewise, you very transparent, right? Now, even let's assume there are several people for the same promotion. Whoever checks whoever's performance evaluation thing, it should be very transparent, right? Not should be not biased, because the thing, but you have to understand that nobody can see others performance evaluation. It is highly confidential. Only the management and the person who has been evaluated only know what's the result of that. So it is another thing. So that is why it says ethically you have to look into the transparency of this one, right? So if I have not shown you this video, please let me know again, even to chat box, because as I told you, it will be very important for you. Okay, now before I come into performance management is not performance appraisal. We've been all already spent more than 1 hour. So we'll take 10 minutes break. It's now 9:02. 10 minutes break means 9:12. We'll meet at 9:12. Then we'll start from here after 9:12. Okay. Okay. Yeah, back to the session. Performance management, not performance appraisal. So this is most of the people sometimes they get mixed up with what is performance management and what is performance appraisal. So right now I was explaining you earlier also, performance appraisal is the base for performance management. So it's like, as the very first day I told you, you should have money in your hand in order to manage the money. If you don't have any money, there's nothing to manage. And once you have the money, you will see, okay, if I have 20 rupees, I will see what to do with 20 rupees. If you have 1 million in your hand, you will see what could be the investments that I can go with. How can I get more profits out of that one? So likewise, but with 20 rupees, let's say not 20 rupees, let's say 20,000, still from 20,000, other than the survival, you can't do any other investments or anything, right? So it's like that. So here also what we recognize in performance appraisal, we recognize every person's weakness and their capabilities. What are the weaknesses? What are the strengths? So what we do, if we recognize in performance appraisals, we recognize their weaknesses, and what we will be doing, we will be turning these weaknesses into strengths by providing them appropriate training, by providing them appropriate development programs, right? Teaching, coaching, motivating them, right? Because some people, they have the commitment, they have the competence, but not the right attitude to work, not right. So therefore, they do not commit. So probably you may need just a little bit of coaching, mentoring, right? So these steps we will be deciding. Or if not, if we see, okay, this person will be more upgraded once we give more promotions, more rewards. So likewise, it depends. Basically, we will, by recognizing the strengths and weaknesses, we recognize what we have to do. Okay. So when it comes to performance appraisal can be defined. Give me 1 second. It's raining out there. It's very noisy. Give me 1 second. Okay, right. So when it comes to this performance appraisal, so performance appraisal can be defined as the formal assessment and rating of individuals by the managers at usually an annual review meeting. So how we get to know? How we get to know their evaluations? Through an annual review meeting. That's what now earlier also we discussed. Normally, performance appraisals are done yearly. Some organizations, they do this thing like after 6 months, after biannually. But it's most of the time it's annually, right? You take an annual review meeting, then you give the ideas. But the feedback should be ongoing. Feedback should be ongoing. This is the way you have to do, guidance and everything. It should be ongoing, right? So performance appraisal can be defined as the formal assessment. Look at it. This is a very formal assessment and rating of individuals. We rate the employees. As you could see in the video, what I have shown you last week also. I think I have shown you, that's why you are so silent and you can remember that. The video, she rates. Okay, for the customer satisfaction, 3. For the leadership, it's 4. So likewise, she rates. And she very clearly explains what are the goals and objectives and all. Anyway, I will be showing you that video later on, because I have very similarly into that video. We have another video. You definitely must remember it as a story. I will be showing you that video several times, in the sense maybe 2-3 times, probably maybe only 2 times, or maybe only 1 time. You have to remember that video like a story. Today I will be showing you, because at the introduction we have to I have to show and explain the things, then you will be remembering this, right? So formally we rate the people. We rate the people in this annual review meeting. It should be distinguished from performance management, right? Once we evaluate only, we can do the performance management. Performance management means by recognizing after, now that is the evaluation. Performance appraisal means the giving ratings for these things. Then after that, by looking at the results of this, you take decisions, right? Whether to go for disciplinary actions, whether to go for rewards, whether to go for training and development. So all these things will be decided. That comes on management side, right? So distinguished from performance management, which is much wider, more comprehensive, and more natural process of management that aims to clarify mutual expectations and emphasize the support role of management, who are expected to act as coaches rather than judges and focusers on the future. So as I could remember, I showed you the coaching video. If not, I will show you right now, as I cannot remember whether I've showed you or not. Even I have showed you or not, that is again another important video that I will be focusing with your exams also. So you have to remember. It means what it says. Every manager, especially the ones who are judging them, who are evaluating them, they should be coaches, not a judge. What's the difference between a judge and a coach? Judge, you give the decision, you have to do that. If you do not do that, you will be punished, right? And most of the times with the judgments, we do not like to do, but reluctantly we do as we need to do, right? So it means the employee satisfaction is not, will be going up because of you being a judge. Think about school time teachers also. There are some teachers who just act as judges. We do not like such ones, right? But if you be a coach who tells you, think about once you were doing athletics, right? We call as coaches. Think about Olympic ones and all. They have coaches. Coaches are not, even we do not call them as trainers. They are trainers, but we call it as coaches, because coaches are the people who listen to you and who understands your problems, what are your grievances, and help you to come out from these issues, right? So this performance management process also should be like that. They need to have supportive role as managers, you see. They need to explain, clarify mutual expectations. If it's Olympic, you run, you get the medal. These are the things that you have to do. And very kindly, very humbly, they will be explaining and they will be motivating you for do that. So likewise, here also, the management role is what? To explain. This is what we need to do. And this is, then you will be like this. Let me show you that video clip, even I have shown you or not, about the proper coaching. I think I have shown you this one, but I am again showing you this, because as I told you, there are some video clips I will be repeating because it's important. There are some other videos, lot of videos in the YouTube, but I don't like to take all of them, because I want you to focus for several particular videos only. Then easily you can write your answers also in your answer scripts, because you get practiced for that video. Then you know as a flow, as a speech, what's happening here, as a story. Then it's very easy to write your answers as well. So in this video also, this coaching video, initially it shows you a wrong way of coaching. Anita isaraha buying it's not suitable. So what it says, the video says you have to But if something goes wrong, you should never talk in front of others. You have to take personally and explain and teach them. Then the people will work happily, right? Otherwise, if you scold at them in front of others, people do not like to work happily. Even at your, if you have kids at your home, you should never ever blame. If you are a mother, if you see some sort of a fault of your kid, even you should not call your father and scold at them in front of the father. So it is a huge damage that you do for your kid for the personality development, right? So they will not develop. They will always be, when they grow up also, they will shock before doing something. That is why most of the time we say the kids who are living with grandparents, the personality, there are some issues with personalities, the people who are living in this, we call as wider families, right? Because once the parents scold the kid, the grandparents also there, in front of everyone, you get very discriminated, the kid. So these are very huge issues. So likewise, if you want to scold the kid, take privately and scold. So that is the workable way, right? So very similarly, in organizations also, everyone will not, if you want to appraise in front of everyone. So let me show you that video, how to become a real good coach. Even I have, as I told you, even I have shown you this one. I would like to show you this again, because as I told you, there are several videos which are very important for your exams, right? So that's what I would be selecting several videos again and again and showing, even though there are a lot of videos. Actually, this story is also a very good story. Let me show you that one first. Just a story on coaching.
Hey, can you help me?
Hey, how can I help you? I need to cross over. You want to cross over the stream? What have you tried so far? I tried to swim. I saw a fish doing that once. You tried being a fish? What else?
I tried to jump high. I saw a bird flying over the stream.
You tried being a bird? What else?
I saw a beaver once building a dike and thought that might work.
You tried being a beaver? Would you mind getting into the stream? What can you see?
I don't know. Water? And my reflection.
Excellent. And what do you see in that reflection? Is that a fish?
No, it isn't.
Is it a bird?
No,
Is it a beaver?
it's not a beaver.
So what is it?
It's a fox. So you are a fox trying to act like others. The others do easily what I want to do. So a fox can't do it. No, there must be a way. Can you see a solution here?
Indeed I can.
Then tell me.
Be a fox, my friend.
I am a fox.
Then act like one. What would a fox do?
I don't know. Foxes don't have a skill for crossing over streams.
And what are your skills?
Foxes are smart, observe and adapt.
Great.
So, now, show me how you apply them. Wait, look! The stream is decreasing!
So what?
If I wait 2 hours... I made it! Oh, thank you!
You are a fox. Well done, my friend.
Can you see what it says? Coaching reveals skills. We blended coaching with our unique mentoring system to create our groundbreaking 100 days entrepreneurship. So it's the coaching is something really, really important that you can make your employees work happily and think in a new way. Look at now this related the video what I wanted to show you. That video also actually I have shown with this your classes. This is the one that I want to show you with this performance evaluation introduction session. So you see.
Unfortunately, good performance doesn't last forever. Everyone has downs as well as ups. And when you're a coach, it's just as important that you never let poor work go unnoticed.
Yes, but unless I have a specific date or billing number, I can't... Ma'am, what I'm trying to tell you, if you listen for just a second, is I have no way of helping you unless I can... Hello? Goodbye.
Robin, please tell me you don't talk to all of our customers that way.
What? No.
Well, the conversation I just heard is completely unacceptable.
But she... You didn't hear her language. She was screaming at me.
I can't do anything about her attitude. What I'm concerned with is yours.
Would you want to be corrected in front of your friends? Not likely. So don't do it to the people you coach. The idea of when you see it, say it, only works when you're coaching good work. When you're coaching poor work, the trick is to make it private and make it positive. First thing, get them alone, or at least away. The sooner the better, but make sure it's private. Now, the hard part, making it positive. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, are you correcting things for their success or yours? Are they doing it wrong or just differently than you would? Are you angry or irritated? If you're not in a completely positive frame of mind, stop and wait until you can be. Then proceed with caring.
Ma'am? Hello? Goodbye.
That call sounded like a rough one. Are you doing okay?
Yeah, I guess.
Remember, a good coach is willing to let the learner choose their own path. So be careful not to jump in with all the answers. Just jump in with a few questions.
So, how do you think it could have gone better?
I'm not sure.
When you feel like saying, here's what I think, stop, take a breath, and ask them, what do you think?
Well, she's bound to call back. What are you going to say?
I don't know. Seems like there's not much you can say.
It's amazing what you'll hear if they think you're really listening. And of course, what do you do when you hear them come up with a great solution? Never let good work go unnoticed. When you see it, say it.
Robin, I think that's exactly right. Just let her vent for a while until she's ready to listen.
But what if they don't have the answers? At that point, a tip or a shortcut or some practical advice from you can do wonders.
Sometimes I'll say something like, let me know how I can make it right for you.
Whatever you offer, make it simple, positive, and totally practical. At times you'll find that they might need a little more training, or maybe they never knew what was expected in the first place.
Actually, why don't we practice a call right now, okay?
Right now? All right. Hello, this is Robin in Accounts.
And be patient if it takes them a couple of tries to get things right. They'll learn more from a few of their own mistakes than 100 of your words. Like they say, the only true failure is the failure to try. If they're making mistakes, it means they're trying. And trying hard is exactly the kind of good work that you should never let go unnoticed. Don't be surprised how often your team members can work out their own problems if you just ask the right questions.
Okay, now you could see when you into this video, right? So how you really need to do a right coaching, right? So, and how the employees are more happy to give their answers. So these things are really important. This video is important because it will be related to few other sessions also. As I told you, I will be picking up only very few videos, and those are related to other topics and other sections that we will be discussing. So there are some, when I say the name, we will be watching like Abigail, so like videos. So when I say Abigail's video, you should know what I'm talking about. So likewise, so you have to remember. So now you should have an understanding. Performance management is not performance appraisal. Performance appraisal is the evaluation. It is a formal way of rating the employees in an annual review meeting. But meanwhile, the performance management is by getting the outcomes, results of the evaluation, we become a coach, right? We become a coach who could help the employees to upgrade themselves. We would be coming up with a supportive role. So it was often backward looking, concentrating on what had gone wrong rather than looking forward to future development needs. Now, performance evaluation, what we do, we can evaluate a thing once we do only. We can't foresee, right? So that's for an example. If you write your answer scripts only, I can evaluate it. I evaluate what you have written. Very similarly, performance appraisal, evaluation, both same, right? Same meaning. Even if I refer performance appraisal, performance evaluation, same thing, right? So the performance appraisal, that we are looking backward, what you have done, how you have behaved, right? How you have committed and all. So it does not look the future development needs. But that is why the performance management is there. Where it stops, it starts to look forward with performance management, right? Because it says this is the outcome, this is the results. This is 3, this is 4, this is 5 rating, this is the way how the employee is. It stops from their performance appraisal. But performance management starts from that, getting the outcomes. Then they decide whether to give promotions, whether to give all these disciplinary actions, whether to give any kind of punishment or promotion, merit rewards, whatever, right? So performance appraisal schemes existed in an isolation. That's why it is isolated. Once it is done, it's there. It is an isolated activity. There was little or no link between them and the needs of the business. It's not going to look into what's the need of the business, because let's say the need of the business is simply think about the vision of the Disneyland's vision is to make people happy. So then they will evaluate the employees. That's all. That's all. They do not want to improve the employee to get the work done or nothing, right? So there is no proper linkage. කරත් නැතත් improve කරනවද මෙයාට වැඩිපුර තව දීලා ඉස්සරහට ගන්නවද, they did not want to look into that, just they wanted to evaluate. That's all. So line managers have frequently rejected performance appraisal schemes as being time consuming and irrelevant. Now look at line managers means what? If you take a garment manufacturing company, line manager is the supervisor. Normally line manager we call as the first managerial level. That is, line managers we call as the supervisor. So there is no difference between a worker and a line manager very much, because line manager is also working with them, right? You may have, if you are working in some organizations, if you see cleaners, the cleaner supervisor that supervisor is the line manager, but that line manager is also cleaning. So therefore, the line managers really, they see this as a burden, time consuming, irrelevant. Why? Once you go to evaluate the other people, your tasks and things will be missed. So therefore, line managers, they frequently rejected this, refused to do this one, telling this is time consuming and irrelevant. Employees have resented the superficial nature with which appraisals have been conducted by managers who lack the skills required or are simply going through the motion. So this is very important that you want to focus on. Employees have resented the superficial nature with which appraisals have been conducted by managers who lack the skills required or are simply going through the motions. It means what? Then they recognize there are some employees, that they want to have more skills required in order to go through with this journey. So therefore, this is important. Then, what are the components of performance appraisal? So as I told you, whatever we gonna do is, the first thing is what? We set our plan. Plan in the sense, what are our goals and objectives, right? That is what you call as define expectation. So, we define the expectation in performance appraisal. Simply, if you could remember the video what I have shown you, she starts the evaluation with, these are our company goals. Let me bring into that part only. These are our company goals. We'll see whether you have achieved this company. And she's taking one by one these goals and seeing whether she has been achieved these goals for the company. That's what they're looking at. So that is why performance evaluation, first thing is looking at the goals, set goals. Just
an opportunity to share with you how. Okay, send her in. Thanks.
This is the video that
Hi, Brittany.
Remember.
How are you?
I'm
Thanks
good.
for
How are
taking
you?
time to come in
It's one of the
and
videos.
go over your performance appraisal. Thanks so much for completing the self-evaluation form and sending it in on time. I really appreciate it.
Sure.
And I have to tell you, in looking at your ratings, I think we're right on target with each other. So
Good.
that was very good. As you know, the performance appraisal process is a very important process here at Keystone College because it provides us with an opportunity to talk about what's going on in your work, gives you a chance to tell me if you have any concerns or issues, and it also provides me with an opportunity to share with you how you are supporting the whole strategic planning process, the strategic goals of our department and of the college, and to show you that you really do play an integral part in the success of the department and the college. So with that, let's look at first your goals from last year. You did an excellent job on the department report.
Thanks, I worked really hard on that.
I could tell.
Yeah.
I could tell. The column headings clearly describe the material, and the calculations in the report were all correct and in an easy-to-read format. Excellent job. And you submitted it early, so that was a bonus too. So that was awesome. As you know, this particular goal supports the strategic plan in regard to monitoring retention, which is critical to the success of Keystone, right? We have to keep the students that come here.
Okay, so likewise, you should be remembering. Now, this video is one of the videos that I will be always taking into discussions. So this is important. There are another few videos which are important. The other one is also that I will be showing you, that is Abigail's video. You'll see timely I will be taking after discussing these things under performance appraisal. So likewise, in the performance appraisal also, you could see in this interview, she sets the expectation. She says this is the goals and objectives, and measure and evaluate. What we'll be doing then, once you set this one, once you define the expectation, then the next one will be measure and evaluate, right? Then you would be measuring and evaluating how this is happening. That is the way how we would do rating. Okay, this is for 3, this is for 5, 6, like normally up to 1 to 5. So then you measure and evaluate. Then you give the feedback. Can you see the feedback that she was giving? You were excellent, you were superb, you have done this thing very great. So likewise, you give the feedback. If there are something wrong, now even in that video, she says, I have seen in sometimes you have not talking with the students very nicely. So the students are, it's just like that you're rushing for the students. Feedback එකක් දෙන්න ඕනේ. So then, what will be the next component? Last one, record performance. Then you record the performance. Okay, for this one 3, this one 4. So likewise, ultimately your rating is 3.5 or maybe 4. So likewise, then again you define the expectations for the next year. So likewise, this should go as a cycle, the performance appraisal. So setting goals and expectation, right? Once it comes to the role as a supervisor, what is the role as a supervisor? If you are the evaluator, what you have to be looked at. This will be important for your exams also, right? Roles, supervisors and employees roles. Setting goals. Now here, the first one, setting goals. Expectation means. What is the roles? Supervisor's role. Clearly communicate expectation, job responsibilities and competencies and behavior. Expectations. You just cut this the word okay? Otherwise it's inappropriate. Expectations. Okay? Like this. It should be corrected like this. Okay? Clearly communicate expectations, job responsibilities, and competencies and behaviors, right? Clearly communicate expectations, job responsibilities, competencies, and behaviors. Now you could see even in that video, she's explaining these are our expectations, these are the goals and objectives that we're expecting, and these are the job responsibilities, right? These are the responsibilities you as a teacher, you want to look into their customers, and these, I believe that you can remember that one. That's why I'm not showing you that one again, right? If you cannot remember, please let me know, because it is really important for you to watch and remember that video, right? So the managers, she will clearly explaining these are the objectives and these are your job responsibilities. These are the things that you want to do. You have to look into the customer's requirements. You have to do the team working, leadership, right? And competence and behaviors. She explained, this is the way you have to behave. These are the things that you have to done. So the role as a supervisor. We'll see. After discussing this thing, again, I will show you this one for a time period, so that because that would be important. Then you will understand more on how she's bringing through in a real interview, right? And communicate how individual goals align with department goals and organizational goals. Now, the supervisor needs to explain, if you do all these things, you will go for this rating, right? Then from one side, organizational goal is achieving, the management definitely will consider your promotions. So likewise, you need to explain how the individual goals would be related to organizational goals. So that is why in most of the time, once you do a performance appraisal, it is asked you to do self-evaluation. ඔයා මුලින් ඔයාටම evaluation එකක් කරගන්න කියලා දෙනවා, form එකක් දෙනවා. ඒක communication skills කොහොමද ඔයාගේ? එතකොට how you have worked in teams, how you are supporting for your customers. So likewise, you have to rate by yourselves and you have to comment. If special things that you have done, you have to write it and you have to comment, right? So then it will be tallying with the supervisors or the evaluators recordings, right? So communicate how individual goals align with department and organizational goals. Help it is a one thing. It is a role of the supervisor. And help your employees set clear, measurable performance goals. So normally in this performance evaluation, the managers, or the evaluators, they ask you to set measurable performance goals. So normally they ask, do you think anything else that you can come across with? What are your skills, right? So I will show you another video that will be more clear for this one. Set your goals. So if you have any other extra skills, you can set your goals. So likewise, asking you to set the goals. That's for an example. Let's assume maybe the quality and the quantity of the work. Key pieces na kiyak mahanno the quality and the quantity, because there are several things. Some people are doing services, some people now when it comes to this video about the teacher, she's doing a service. So likewise, it's not always about the quantity. It can be quality, it can be something, another new idea. So you have to set your own goals. And it is a role. You need to coach them. You need to guide them how to set clear, measurable goals and offer advice and guidance regarding your employees' performance on a consistent, ongoing basis. Offer advice and guidance regarding your employees' performance on a consistent, ongoing. This is very, very important, as I told you. You may doing this performance evaluation annually or biannually, but the feedback should be given in an ongoing basis. නැත්තම් මේ අවුරුද්දේ කියපු එකේ කමෙන්ට් එක හරිද මෙයා ඒ කියපු විදිහට වැඩ කරනවද කියලා බලන්න තව අවුරුද්දක් ඉන්න වෙනවා. ඊට පස්සේ තව අවුරුද්දක් ඉන්න වෙනවා ඒ විදිහට වැඩ කරලා බලන්න. So likewise, you have to wait until for long years to check whether the person has been working as how you have advised. So that in order to stop that one, because once you give a feedback, it should be in practice, right? So therefore, you need to check up with the employee whether the employee is working in that one, and you have to give ongoing basis of feedback. This is great, this is good. So likewise, ongoing basis. So these are few roles which should be done by the supervisor. And when it comes to employees' role, you can see, understand how their role aligns with division and departmental goals and participate actively in setting expectations. Now, you are the employee now. Then your role is to understand what is my role. How should I contribute to achieve organizational departmental goals? And how to participate actively? How should I involve in this decision making? How should I involve really actively with this? Work with, the next one is, work with you to set clear, measurable performance goals. Then, now the supervisor's role, you understand from one side. So if you can remember one part, the other part you can easily make up with. Work with you to set clear, measurable performance goals. You have to work with the management to set clear, measurable performance goals. That's why you need to discuss. Okay, no, I can't go for this level. I can go for this level. Or probably you can say, why? Now, normally in Sri Lanka only, and the India only, people are very negative in thinking. Mona kiwat bag gagatta gamam minnu Lankawe Indiawe tamai. Godak pelawata Lankawe. Indiawe එහෙම නැහැ. එහෙමම නැහැ. ලංකාව තමයි යතින් very poor. Mona kiwat bad. Mulimma negative. Even you think about yourselves and your colleagues. Make a bag කියලා තමයි පටන් ගන්න. But normally in other countries, so they always come up with ideas. They come up with ideas. They focus the first priority as their work. That is the main thing, right? So therefore they come up with things. They bring things. So they always work for, come up with new goals and monitor their own performance compared to expectation. And it is your role to monitor your own performance. This is their expectation. The expectation is to go me to up to 100 level. What is my level now? What is my quality level? So likewise, monitor the own performance is one of your roles as an employee. And seek advice and guidance as needed from you. So you need to seek advice and guidance as needed from you. So it is very important. If you want to get advice, guidance, so you want to go for the management, and you need to get their support in helping in these things, right? So let me show you that video as I told you when it comes to, which is very clear on the roles of supervisor. This is also a very good one. It is this one, okay?
Jason, just before we get started, I wanted to let you know that the idea you came up with last week was very good. And I've given it to Alex to implement. So, well done and thank you.
Serious? That's brilliant. You know, Jane, I've found it much more easier to come up with ideas this year. Probably got a lot to do with all that planning we did, which has taken pressure off work and helped creativity. Plus, I'm enjoying work a lot more. I guess it's a lot to do with the new management.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So specifically, how are you finding your position after the redesign of your job?
Actually, a lot better. I feel that I'm in control more since I'm able to follow any issues all the way through. I get the customer's feedback at the end, which means it's a lot easier to evaluate how well we went.
Well, I welcome any feedback you have about how to improve your position. And I also want to tell you that if you feel that we're not using all of your skills, let me know and we'll be able to find another challenge for you. We can organise training if you need it.
That'd be great. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Great. Well, that's what I'm here for. So now to today's performance appraisal. It's a lot more structured than the ones we've been doing monthly with a lot more paperwork. It'd be fair to say there are no surprises here. I've let you know regularly what you've been doing well and also the areas in which you could improve. Would you agree?
Absolutely. A good example would be when you saw me sorting out that recent issue with the guys in accounts and how you said to me afterwards that I'd done a good job. You know, frequent feedback on little things like that just really makes a difference.
Well, that's how an organisation succeeds.
Yeah.
It's people take care of the day-to-day and the manager ensures that their performance is recognised. You've lifted your performance a lot since last year and you've done very well to achieve the goals that we set. And another thing, I wanted to let you know that I appreciate how you've kept me informed, how you've let me know both the good and the bad about how we've been doing.
Okay, well, I'll keep doing that. As far as the goals go, it helps that I knew exactly what I was aiming at and that they were challenging, so I had to push myself to reach them.
That's great. Okay. Now, as you can see, next to each category rating, I've written the evidence on which I base the rating. Have a read, and if there's anything you don't agree with, let me know either now or later.
Actually, there is something here in the written communications category. You said you haven't seen much to support this. What about that report I wrote a couple of months ago on improving customer relations? Wouldn't that count for this?
Oh, was that you?
Yeah.
Oh, I completely forgotten. My apologies. I thought that was Alan. And back then I really didn't know who was who. It was a fabulous report and yes, it would change your performance rating. My mistake completely, but thanks for bringing that to my attention. It was a good example of assertive, non-aggressive communication. It's a lot easier to work with people when they're calm and assertive.
Cool. I guess I'll walk away with this, have a read of it, and we're going to have a talk sometime tomorrow, if that's all right with you.
Yeah, fine for me. How about tomorrow, say 11 a.m? Would you be in a position to make comments by then?
Sure. Yep. Okay, I appreciate that, Jan, and see you then. Oh, and thanks again for the feedback and the opportunities you're offering.
Thank you.
Cheers.
So now you could see in that video, it's very clearly the manager is asking the employee to think. Okay, you just think and let me know what are the things that you can come across with your own knowledge, own things, right? So then they can manage their own performances, right? So that is one thing. Okay, now we are moving to the process of performance management, right? So you could see, I'm repeating you again, I'm not giving you loads of notes and to make you more difficult in your examinations to study loads of things. The thing that you learn may be a very small, teeny thing, but you could say this is a very new topic. So that is why it is not good to overload you with, right? for a day, there is a, now normally we come into, when it comes to studying, we call this as notional hours. So I will, no, normally I'm taking for your level, what could be the notional hours, and only I will be teaching you up to that level, right? So sometimes still it may be more than, so that is why I'm coming up with more examples. So the thing that you learn, please keep it in your mind, the video especially, because these things can be related to some other lessons as well. And meanwhile, I am teaching, I am telling you what are the most important parts in your examinations also. So therefore, once you are in the session, you know, you need to mark them, right? So this is kind of an important thing. So like I said, the notice with you, right? So when it comes to the process of performance management, we do have several stages, right? So first one is planning, right? Planning is what? Work. This is also important. Remember, process of performance management, you should be able to write it and explain it, right? Process of performance management, planning. When it comes to planning, we can see under process of performance management, I'm talking about 5 aspects, and I have been given you some several notes on that one. So you should be able to explain this, right? As how it is. So you plan on what? As I told you, you need to plan the work and set in expectation, right? That's what. Whether it is quality and quantity wise, you need to plan, work and set in expectations, and continually monitoring performance, right? The next one is, now we set the plan, we set what are the goals and objectives of work, right? And now because we are talking about the performance management expectations, right? Not the organizational goals and objectives. Don't mix up. This is, of course, the performance management goals and objectives are aligned to the organizational goals and objectives, right? But here we are talking about performance management's expectations. So that is why we set work and set in expectations. Then we continually monitor the performance, whether the plan, as per our plan, whether this is working. ඕනම එකක් එහෙම අපි plan කරලා බලනවා ඒ අනුව දැන් වැඩ කරගෙන යනවද කියන එක. Right? We monitor whether this is working well. We monitor. And once we monitor, right, then we need to develop the capacity to perform. We see once we monitor, some employees are capable, but the machineries are very obsolete. Obsolete කියන්නේ යල් පැනපු ඒවා. කල් expired කියලා කියන වචනේ කියන්නේ නෑ. We don't say expired. Expired means කල්ලිකුත් වෙලා කියන එක. යල් පැන ගියා කියන්නේ, you know, the technology is over, maybe a lot of repairs and things. Obsolete. We call it as obsolete, right? So there can be obsolete, or maybe the employees may have no proper working condition, may not have a very good support, teamwork. So what we do is, once we monitor this one, we need to give the capacity, we develop the capacity to perform. Then we see whether they are performing now. We give sufficient technology, we give sufficient appropriate knowledge, appropriate environment, right? So we develop the capacity. Right? And periodically rating performance in a summary fashion. Now, normally we do annual reviews for the annual, right? But now what we do periodically, maybe twice a month or maybe once a month, you periodically rate performance of. This is not a very formal way, very systematic way as how we are doing in this interview processes, but we periodically rate now the performance in a summary fashion. Likewise for teamwork, this, for this one, this, so like a summary, right? Because we do not want to spend a lot of time in this one, but we want to monitor and we want to see how their performance. So we rate and they reward the good performance. Then it is very much important for you to reward the good performance. If you do not reward the good performance at the right time, what will be happening? The talented employees will be leaving your organization, and that would be a huge problem for the organization. Once the employees, what will happen? If they leave the organization, because you always need to have talented employees. නිකන් ඇවිදවිද ඉන්න අයට පඩිගවන්න organization එක කැමති වෙන්නේ නැහැ. If you see, if you have not working now, if you have not started working yet, you have to understand that this is very important. Every private organization is now looking for this performance evaluation. They will be keeping you in the organization by looking at your performance. If you are not a very good performer, you would not be able to settle in the organization. Even you settle in the organization, you need to work well until you die, until you retire, because unless you would not be rewarded as how you wanted, because rewarding is something that you really want, right? And plan. Now we'll go through one by one this one, right? The planning. When it comes to planning, the supervisor should meet with very carefully see, because this would be an examination question, because this is important. Explaining the process of performance management. One day you will be having in another session process of performance evaluation also. These are two different things. So probably both will be coming for your exams also. So you should be able to explain, briefly explain, right? Now this is about process of performance management. Please highlight it. We are talking about performance management, not evaluation, right? In planning, the supervisor should meet the employees to create their performance plans. Now what's happening? Supervisor should meet the employees. Supervisor is the line manager who is directly dealing with the employees. And ළඟින්ම වැඩ කරන employees ලත් එක්ක. එයා ගිහිල්ලා හම්බ වෙන්න ඕන අනිත් එකට වැඩ කරන අයත් එක්ක to create the performance plan. So how much you can do this? How much you can do? So you would be getting the quality quantity wise. How would be your team, right? So you plan with the team now. You plan with the team. The supervisor should establish measurable goals that align to the strategic and operational plans. Now, and let's stop that one. And consult with her employees when creating these goals, right? Strategic plan is what? Strategic plan is the organizational the most supreme plan where the organization wants to reach, right? Strategically it has been developed, right? So most probably the strategic plan, the parts are explained with the mission. Now let me show you the mission of the Disneyland, then that would be clear for you. Disneyland mission. Look at, right? Now what is the vision? To make people happy. Mission, you see, mission it says to entertain. The company's mission is to entertain, inform and inspire people around the globe through the power of unparalleled storytelling. Unparalleled storytelling. You see this Disneyland storytelling now unparalleled. Harry Potter, Cinderella, Frozen, Snow White, Lion King, everything. It is unparalleled storytelling. They have reached there. They have reached their strategies, right? Unparalleled storytelling reflecting iconic brands. These are iconic brands. Minnie Mouse, Cinderella, this, what do you call it? All these things, they are iconic brands. And creative minds and innovative technologies that makes ours the world's premier entertainment company. So this is the mission. So these are actually, it comes under the strategic plan. You need to create unparalleled stories. You need to create iconic brands for the world and creative minds and creative innovative technologies that it can come into that level. So it could reach that level, right? So that is what it says. Now whatever you plan, it should be related to the strategic plan. And once you see the strategic goals, you need to develop the strategic plan as per that, right? Here you are not, the supervisor is not deciding the strategic plan. strategic plan is designed by the top management. Supervisor කෙනෙකුට තීරණය කරන්න බෑනේ කම්පැනි එක කොහෙටද යන්න ඕනේ මොකද්ද කරන්න ඕනේ කියන එක නේ. දැන් ඔයා ගෙදර හිටියට ඔයාලා තීරණය කරන්න බෑනේ මම කොහොමද ගෙදර සල්ලි ගෙදම් කරන්න ඕනේ. That will be done by the father or the mother, right? So like a strategic plan will be done by the top level. And here operational plan means what? Operational plan also most of the times it will be decided by the middle level management or line level management. Operational plan කියන්නේ මේක කරගෙන යන්න අර අපි bottom level එකේ plan එක මොකක්ද කියන එක. Right? Think about a company strategic plan is to bring 100 million profitability after 2 years, right? That is the strategic plan, right? So then after 1 year, if you want to get 100 million profit, you need to cascade into 1 month, 1 day, and how many employees are there? Each employee, how much they need to contribute for this one. Think about sales team. So how many of units they need to sell? එක්කෙනෙක් කීයක් විකුණන්න ඕනේද මේ ultimate goal එකට යන්න. Right? So that is very clear. So therefore, there is the operational plan. Bottom level එකේ තියෙන plan එක මොකක්ද? So this plan is supported by the supervisors, by the first line managers, right? But the strategic plan is not done by the supervisors. Understand that one. So they only align the operational plans to the strategic plan, right? So therefore, what we plan in the performance management, in planning what we do now, we discuss with the employees and we develop the operational plan in order to meet the strategic goals of the organization. That's what we do under plan. What we do under monitoring. Now we discussed with our employees, we develop the operational plans. Each employee should contribute like this, production like this, marketing like this. It's up to the supervisors. The production supervisor cannot do all the operational plan for marketing, HRM and all. Each department level, each team, they will be having their own supervisors. They will be doing their own operational plans, right? And monitoring. Then you do monitoring. The supervisor should monitor employee progress, not only when there is a progress review due, but on a continuous basis throughout the appraisal period. You should not do a review once it comes to the progress review due. Normally what we call as the annually. Not only annually, but you need to do this one in a continuous basis. You have to monitor. හැම වෙලේම monitor කර බලන්න ඕනේ. දැන් මෙයාලා වැඩ කරනවාද මේක ඔපරේෂන් ප්ලෑන් එක අපි හැදුවා. ඒ විදිහට මෙයාලා වැඩ කරනවාද? ඒ විදිහට විකුණනවාද? ඒ විදිහට මහනවාද? ඒ විදිහට අතු ගන්නවාද? So you need to look, you need to monitor. Then you focus on the developing part. What you develop? You need to develop a very conducive environment. Conducive environment කියන්නේ මොකද්ද? Conducive environment කියන්නේ හරි supportive environment එකක් හදන්න ඕනේ. You need to create a conducive environment where the employees can work properly. The supervisor should be able to determine from continuous monitoring whether employees need additional development to achieve their assigned responsibility. Then you underline that word, additional development. So then the supervisors need to look into whether they need some additional developments, maybe developments in the environment, maybe developments in the machines that they do. So how once the working machine is upgraded, your quality is also upgraded. Once the working environment is supported, your performance is also will be upgraded. So likewise, in order to perform the responsibilities in a more appropriate way, what we can develop. So it is the next stage, right? The process of performance management. The next one, what we do, then we rate. Now we have developed the plan, operational plans. Then monitor කරනවා දැන් මෙයාලා කොහොමද වැඩ කරන්න කියන එක monitor කරනවා. ඊට පස්සේ මෙයාලට අවශ්‍ය පහසුකම් දෙනවා දැන්. Developing. training මොනවද මෙයාලට අවශ්‍ය වටේ දෙන්න ඕනද knowledge එක දෙන්න ඕනද coaching කරන්න ඕනද so that's what we call as monitor අවුරුද්දකට සැරයක් විතරක් නෙමෙයි you need to do it in a continuous basis so then you develop things and next what we will be doing rating in rating what we'll be doing the supervisor will use the knowledge gained from monitoring the employee's performance during the appraisal period to compare that performance against the employee's elements and standards and assign a rating of record. What you will be doing? You have to now rate the employees as per how you have appraised. Now you monitor the employees, right? Now you record, okay, for this teamwork, now 3 marks. For customer satisfaction improvement, this mark. So likewise, now you rate the employees against what we are expecting from the employees, right? So then we rate it. Then what is the, now this is one of the examples that I wanted to show you. No need to by heart this one, just a rating scale, right? I just wanted to show you how the ratings have been done. So think about, now they have come into an operational goal. මෙන්න මේ විතර තමයි වෙන්න ඕන කියන කියලා තීරණය කරගෙන තියෙනවානේ. So here you see successful, exceptional and needs improvement. How that goes? You see performance rating for individual component. You see successful means what? Again, satisfactory කියලා කියන එකනේ. Demonstrate the appropriate level of knowledge and skills. Performs effectively and consistently. Achieving goals and targets. මතකනේ අර වීඩියෝ එකේ කිව්වේ. Achieving goals and targets now, it is the normal level, satisfactory level. So here it says get goal to cut departmental expenses by 10%. Then මේගොල්ලෝ operational level එකේදී බලාපොරොත්තු වෙලා තිනවා 10% වලින් cut කරන්න, expenses cut කරන්න, right? එතකොට මේකට individual කෙනෙක් 10% to 12% to අතර contribute කරනවා නම් he is in up to successful layer. Here what it says, exceptional, demonstrate and applies exceptional level of knowledge and skills. Consistency excel, significance achievement relative to goal. It means what? Set goals to cut performance expenses by 10%, but cuts by over 12. මේ සමහර employees ලා ඉන්නවා අර wastages අපි කියන අඩුම කරලා කරන්න පුළුවන් අය exceptional අය. So එයාලට පුළුවන් wastages 12%ක් වැඩි 15-20%ක් වඩා වැඩියෙන් expenses cut කරන්න. So they are exceptional. But there are some people who need improvement, demonstrate lack of knowledge and skills, does not perform consistently, does not achieve goals. What is our expectation? Expectation is to cut the expenses by 10% of the organization. But he is cutting lesser than 80%. It means efficiency is very low. The wastages are very high from this employee. So as per this is just an example. I showed you to have an understanding. So the set standard is this 10% expenses. So as per that, you rate successful, exceptional, needs improvement. So if it is normally successful, we give 3 marks. Exceptional, 4 to 5. And needs improvement, 2 or below. So likewise, you rate the employee as per the skills, right? And the next one, then ultimately what we do, now we get to know whether you are in successful level or exceptional level or needs improvement level. Now we know. And you need to reward. Why? Once you reward the employees, the people will be remaining in your organization, right? So for this rewarding, I just want you to show you another small video. It's very important. If you have some notes also, you can write it down. Very small cartoon-like video. So as we have continuously spoke a lot of time, we'll have 10 minutes break. Now it's 10:19. 10:19. Now it's 10:19. We'll have 10 minutes break and 10:29 we'll meet up again. Okay? 10:29 we'll meet up again. Have a 10 minutes break. Refresh and come. Okay, right. Now we'll start once again after the break. Now, as I told you, the rewarding. Rewarding is one of the most important things, right? Because you could see here, let me bring you. Now, what we were doing, we set expectations and we monitor, we rate, and now again, once what we do, rewarding. When we come into rewarding, the supervisor must make meaningful distinctions when granting awards. Awards amount should be clearly distinguishable between different performance levels that are fully successful or above. This is a huge problem if you do not give the reward rightfully for the right one, right? හරියට දුන්නේ නැත්නම් හරියට ලැබෙන්න ඕනි කෙනාට it will be a huge problem. Why? Then think about employees who have come in the same time, right? Same time, we call it as contemporary time. Everyone is coming in the same time. Then you say, okay, why she's getting promotions, why I am not, why she's getting more bonuses, why I am not. A lot of problems can happen. That is why you need to have a very proper, transparent mechanism in order to explain this is why she is rewarded. This is why you are rewarded, right? So likewise, because rewarding can be in different ways. The first one is the promotion. It can be in mean of promotion. It can be mean of merit pay. Merit pay means as per your performance, we pay you. For this year, we pay you. If your performance goes down in next year, no merit pay in next year. It's like an allowance, right? It does not come for the basics. It's just like an allowance. For your performance, we give you merit pay, what do you call promotion, and positive transfers. What do you mean by positive transfers? Positive transfers means that you always wish to go. Think about I live in Monragala. So I want, but I live in Monragala, but I am working in Colombo, right? So I always ask a transfer for Monragala because that is my hometown. So if I work very well in Colombo, so I may get a chance to go to my village, Monragal. It is a positive transfer. It does not mean always going to a rural area is a kind of a punishment. No, sometimes the rural area, if it is your place and if you always wanted to go there, that is a positive transfer. If you work in Colombo, if you've been transferred for Monragal, then that is a punishment, right? So positive transfers, merit pay, and what do you call bonuses, and maybe more we call as fringe benefits. Fringe benefits means you are given a car, right? You are given transport allowances. So likewise fuel allowance. So likewise different ways the people can be rewarded, right? So if you do not properly allocate these rewards, that should be done based on the evaluation what you have done. That is why this evaluation should be always very fair, right? Then only you can retain the right employees. This is very important, retaining right employees, because that is really, really important point that we have to discuss when it comes to process of performance management, right? Rewarding. Because normally in a performance evaluation, we will be seeing whether the people should be rewarded or whether by recognizing their skills, competence, strengths, or whether the people should be punished or go for disciplinary actions, or maybe going for training and development actions. That's what we want to look into. So here, what we are looking at, rewarding. Let me show you the importance of rewards with this. Why employee recognition is essential and why employee recognition matters. So these are the base videos. Let me show you.
Meet two employees. Kate excels at her job yet feels frustrated. Her efforts go unnoticed. Sam has other challenges to overcome. He's lost motivation and is now dead weight for the organization. We know this not only from performance reviews, but from transparent documentation. For Kate, performance management helps her to continue to improve. For Sam, it can define a path to resolving his issues. But performance management offers Kate and Sam more, an understanding of how they fit into the larger workplace culture. They can see the big picture and the parts they play in the organization's success. Because in spite of their performance differences, they're both being recognized, and that's no small thing. All the data confirms that positive recognition of performance from multiple sources is key to building a positive, productive workplace and helping to create leaders. But if high-performing employees feel their work goes unnoticed, morale and motivation weaken, their productivity will suffer and they'll be more likely to leave the organization, often for a place where they are recognized and valued. If problem employees don't receive feedback, how will they improve? The way performance is managed and documented makes all the difference. Performance management can be used as a tool for setting goals, for team building, for better communications, to enhance trust, to ensure accountability, and to maintain transparency. For Kate and Sam, performance management can transform.
Now that one you have to take into your notes, right? So please take your pens out and you have to write it down, because all these things also now now when we teach, we use different techniques, right? You know that. So from this video, you have to take your own note. So let me bring that part again. Why we need to do performance evaluation and what's the importance. So this again can be a focused examination question, right? So the importance of performance, rewarding in a performance management. The importance, write it down, the importance of rewarding in performance management. Let's see one by one.
It's key to building a positive, productive workplace and helping to create leaders. But if high-performing employees feel their work goes unnoticed, morale and motivation weaken, their productivity will suffer and they'll be more likely to leave the organization, often for a place where they are recognized and valued. If problem employees don't receive feedback, how will they improve? The way performance is managed and documented makes all the difference. Performance management can be used as a tool for setting goals, for team.
Now you see, performance management is used for, now you have to write it down, okay? Setting goals. Let's say how the reward management will be related to this one, okay? Performance management is helping to set goals. That's what we were discussing, right? Setting goals. And team building. How the team building can be done through performance management? Because the performance management is always striving to give the team sense, because everyone should work together to achieve the organizational goals. So that would be leading to team building. Write down this one. This is important for the exams also. So how the performance management and the reward management can be related with each other, right? So performance management is helping for goal setting, team building,
For better communications.
Better communications. That's what I told you. Write it down. Better communications. Because always they would be looking at how to create a better communication. So that is why the mission vision should be well communicated to the down layers, as well as that is why it is more important to communicate what we are doing and what is happening, giving feedback and all. Everything is discussing about a better communication. Because once we do a better communication only, we will be knowing how to and what to achieve, what to do and how to do, right? That is done by the performance management, because the feedback is always given.
To enhance trust, to ensure accountability, and to maintain transparency.
Enhance trust and ensure the accountability. That's what we say. Enhance the trust. How the trust can be enhanced through performance management? Because we know once we perform well, we will be rewarded for that. So that is, it will enhance the trust with the organization. Okay, That is why the government organizational people, they never work, because they do not have any trust on the government, because they know even how much they work, they will be in the same place. They will not be promoted or rewarded or anything. So this performance management, on the other way around, it will be enhancing the trust between the employees and the management, that showing that they would be able to meet their career ladder. And the next one is, write down, ensure accountability. Performance management leads to ensure the accountability. Now, probably I may ask a question, explain how performance management ensure the accountability of an employee. Or I may ask how performance management of an organization can entrust the trustworthiness of the organizational employee. So likewise, then you should be able to write down. That is not in the note, but that is not in the note, but that is in the video. So that is why I'm telling you, it is very important for you to go through with all the videos. Now this video is a theoretical video that you have to take notes and write down. There are some other example videos. The interviews I show you, there are some stories I showed you. So those are some examples, right? Example videos. So example videos and theoretical videos are really important both. That is why even when it comes to example videos, I'm just going through with only few videos only, because then you will just like by hearting. You have to watch it. Then it would be very easy for you to come across with many more things. Once you go into the latter topics, you will understand that one, right? So ensure accountability. What do you mean by ensuring accountability? Ensuring accountability in the sense, so what do you mean by accountability? Accountability means the employee is accountable for what he needs to do. Now, that's for an example. A doctor, let's say a surgeon is accountable for the surgery, what he has done. He should know what to do and he should take the responsibility of what he has done, right? So once the performance management is done, normally in a performance evaluation, we clearly explain what is the role that you need to do, because the job description is clearly given for the employees. So now what is job description? Write down. What is job description? Job description brings you what are the tasks and the duties, that an employee should be performing. What are the tasks and the duties that the employee should be performing? The role of the employee, workplace, and every other matter related to working tasks. So in the job description, very specifically, we are telling you, this is your role. This is your working hours. This is the way you have to do. As an clerk, you have to do all these files. You have to do all these documents. You have to do everything. Every task and duty would be explained in the job description. So you are accountable for the tasks and duties that is assigned. So that is assigned by a very formal document. That is what we call as job description, right? That you have to remember very carefully, right? You have to know that. That is why I'm explaining very clearly, right? And letting you to write it down also. So this job, you are accountable for the work which is mentioned in the job description. Let's say you are an employee. Let's say you are a personal secretary to the CEO, right? You are the personal secretary to the CEO. Your job description mentions your job role is to write down all the documents, get the appointments, and make clear the documents of the CEO, right? Going out with clients is not one of your job roles, right? It is not in the job role. It is not in your job description. Let's say the CEO is or the manager may be asking, okay, or a director can be asking that person, the one who is going out with the client, maybe marketing director or someone, he is absent. So can you join with this one? So she may say, okay, I will join with this client meetup today. But tomorrow and every day you can't ask that. Why? It is not in your job description. Sometimes you may agree or not. Anytime you should be able to say no. Why? Because that is not in your job description. For things which are not in your job description cannot be evaluated in performance evaluation. Be very clear. ඔයාට කරන්න අදාළයි කියලා job description එකේ නැති කිසිම දෙයක් evaluate කරන්න බැහැ job evaluation, performance evaluation එකේදී. Let's say in the performance evaluation, the evaluator say, you have gone only for one client meeting. We have asked several times to go for another client meetings. තව යන්න කිව්වා another client meetings වලට ඒවට ගියේ නැහැ. ඒක නිසා ඔයා customer satisfaction එකට මං වඩ දෙන්නේ ලකුණු 2ක්. Can he say so? Can the evaluator say so? No, because she is not accountable for that one. It is not one of her duties. It is not one of her tasks. So, if any employee, even you, sometimes you may be working as a personal secretary to CEO, you may be working as an employee in somewhere. Make sure unless it is not mentioned in your job description, you are not accountable for that one. And the things which are not accountable, you are not no one can evaluate you based on that across. ඒක මත පදනම්ව ඉඳලා ඔයාව evaluate කරන්න බෑ, right? So ඒක නිසා තමයි performance evaluation එක හරිම transparent විදිහට තියාගන්න. That is why we keep this performance evaluation in a very transparent way. That is why the evaluator is expressing, because of this reason I give you 3, because of this reason I give you 4. Because if something is wrong, you can clear up it. If you could see in the video, if you carefully watch the video I showed you, like the boy with the Japanese eyes, like, so then the evaluator, the lady says, the documentation I give you 2 or 3 marks. Like then the boy is correcting her. No, you have told that the document what I have done in last time, it was excellent. So that is done by me. Then she told, mama හිතුවේ ඒක ඔයා නෙමෙයි වෙන කෙනෙක් කරේ කියලා. ඇත්තද එහෙනම් ඔයා නම් කරේ, you get this mark. So like there should be a way to get corrected also. So that is why here ensuring accountability comes with that one, the performance management. Because in the performance evaluation, you know what are the accountable work that you want to know and ensures your accountability. If you have done work, it ensures the accountability in performance management, right?
To maintain transparency. For Kate and Sam,
but maintains the transparency. It is very important things because accountability is done, as I explained. Accountability can be done through the transparency. Accountable ලේවට විතරයි ඔයාට marks දෙන්න පුළුවන්. Okay? So these things you just mentioned.
Performance management can transform them on a day-to-day basis and over the course of their careers, while vastly improving the organizational culture. And we can all recognize that is a very good thing.
So therefore, performance management always help the organizations to do a proper reward management. So that one you should be remembering. A proper reward management would be done through this performance management. Now you should be able to explain with the elements how the performance management can be assisted in reward management. That's for an example. If I ask you how the accountability, how an employee accountability, what is the relationship between employee job role accountability, reward management, and the performance management? So for such a question, how are you going to answer? How the job role, the job accountability, reward management, and performance management can be related. So that is not in the note, that is in this theoretical video, right? So simply you can explain what is reward management, what is performance management simply. Then you write what is accountability, then you write the relationship between. Because of the performance management, only they would be performance management's base is the performance evaluation. So therefore, because of the performance management, the employee is very clear on what he is accountable for and whether he has worked for the accountable tasks. Once the employee has been worked for the accountable tasks, it can be lead to the rewarding, right? Once he has not, once he has not supported with this accountable activities, he would not be supportive for this reward management. දැන් ඒක නිසා ඒක exam එකට base වෙන question එකක් ඔයාලට පේනවා. ඒකයි මම කිව්වේ videos හරි clearly අහගෙන ඉන්න be very mindful on the videos that I will be showing you because some are example videos, some are theoretical videos. දැන් මේ theoretical video එකේ the things what you have written would be focused on the examinations as well. Most probably, I'm not sure. Most probably such questions can be coming from the videos, right? So I will be relating. Explain the relationship between the accountability, reward management and performance management. Then now it is explained in this video and I also explain. Then you should be able to write it very clearly. So that is the advantage of that you are joining with the lectures and watching the videos very carefully. So then you will get to know a lot of tips what would be focusing for the exams too. So now you see why recognition, employee recognition matters. Okay.
Why employee recognition matters. Hey, my name is Mark. Did you know that one of the strongest influences on the culture of an organization is employee recognition? Yes, that's right. Recognizing employees for their everyday contributions touches every aspect of your company's environment and the overall employee experience. When attracting prospective talent, benefits and salary are not the only critical considerations. The employee experience and the overall company culture are also major considerations as well. While many HR leaders and executives are developing strategies to attract top talent, it is important not to overlook the key components of ensuring proper employee recognition. Let's look at 6 facets of workplace culture that help to make organizations more attractive to talent via employee recognition. The first aspect is engagement. A Gallup poll taken in 2000.
Now you have to write this, right? Now you have to write this one because what are the things which would be related to employee rewarding? That's what we were lastly discussed. The last factor, rewarding. It gives a kind of a very pivotal importance when it comes to this subject, performance management, rewarding, because it's one of the parts. Engagement. How the employee engage can be done. What is the relationship between employee engagement and the performance management? Because performance management will be helping employees to understand what are the organizational goals and objectives. It leads the employees to understand what are the goals and objectives that they want to achieve and to set up their own goals and objectives. And continuous feedback it helps the employees to improve themselves. So therefore, employee engagement is really high. Think about that through performance management, you are given rewards. Once you are given rewards, your engagement is really high. Because you know, that's what I told you, when it comes to Toyota company, the engagement is really high because the employees know they will be rewarded. So vice versa, if the employees get more trainings and all, again, their knowledge goes up, their skills, ability goes up. So again, their contribution is really high. So that is another thing. Okay. And in order to improve the engagement, employee engagement.
2017 reported a not-so-positive outlook on employee engagement and stated that as many as 51% of the employee workforce is not actively engaged. Employees who receive strong recognition have been found to improve their work productivity and quality by 80%. Number 2 is improved leadership. Strong leaders that act as engaged mentors not...
Now you can see improved leadership is another one. Once the performance evaluation is done, even if you could remember the first video that I have been showing you about the teacher and the manager, so it led the teacher to take leadership skills. Improving leadership skills, of course, it goes the performance up.
Not only create a heightened sense of camaraderie, but relationships between employees and leaders are improved, especially when employees are recognized for their ongoing efforts. The third aspect is opportunity. Providing employees with opportunities to grow and develop both personally and professionally is important.
Now you can see opportunity. So of course, once you give the opportunity, there are some organizations, they give opportunity to learn languages. There are some organizations, they give opportunity to study and to train development. So again, their performance goes up.
Recognition for achievements such as receiving a master's degree or completing a comprehensive certification program is a great motivator. Number 4 is success. Employees want to feel as though they are part of a winning team and that their efforts for doing meaningful work are recognized. When the company gets awards or special mentions, be sure to bring that to your teams. Number 5, purpose. Give employees a
Now I'm not explaining one by one. You just write down the main points, right? Success, purpose and all. So you do not want in exams also, you do not want to write all the things. Probably there are facts, maybe 10, 20, 15 facts maybe explaining. But just remember 5 factors like, then you should be able to briefly explain about these 5 factors, right? So just watch, otherwise I'm disturbing you time to time.
A reason for their presence and their contributions within the organization for them to feel connected. Many studies show that when people feel the purpose or reason for being or doing, they are more likely to be productive and happy. And finally, number 6, well-being. Organizations often focus solely on the physical aspects of workplace culture. However, to create well-rounded employees, employers must also focus on the well-being that involves employees' emotions and social environments. Recognition is a tool not often seen as a key factor in workplace culture, but to effectively make an impact on the organization and for the customers, it should never be underestimated. If you want to know more about ways employee recognition matters for your workplace, click the link below for more information.
Okay, right. Now you could see what are the things what I just wanted to show you under this employee recognition, rewarding, right? So as I told you, this one would be a very important one, right? Very important one for your examinations, this process of performance management. Let me focus more on the things that you want to focus on today's session, because normally doing 20 slides like it is more than sufficient for you for your level, because as this is a very new subject also, doing actually 20 slides per day, that is more than enough, right? I do not want to overload with you. So you want to remember, definitely you have to study these aspects as I told you. Definition, right? For your own definition, you can make up your own definition out of this one. These things you have to remember, because sometimes if I ask purpose or maybe what is performance management, you should be able to write down with all these things, mix up all these things and write down, right? These elements, the highlighted ones you have to study. And again, here you want to focus on performance management is not performance appraisal. That we should be very clear on that. That I believe that I explained very well about this one. Performance, again, I'm repeating you should be able to write down what is the difference between performance appraisal and performance management. Simply, if I ask you, performance management is not performance appraisal, do you agree? Then if I ask such a question, first you have to say, right, yes or no. Okay, first write yes or no, then bring your answer. When you're writing your answers also, make sure please write down very legibly. Otherwise, if I cannot read your handwriting, it would be very difficult for me to give you marks. Sometimes you may be really a clever student, very good student, but because of your handwritings, you may be going back. So you do not know that. අපි කරන්නේ මොකක්ද, නෝට් එකක් දානවා අකුරු කියවන්න බෑ කියලා, කියවන්නේ නැහැ ඊතුරු ටික. එහෙම වුණාම it will be a huge problem. ඉතින් අකුරු කියවන්නම බැරි ළමෙක් ඉන්නවා කියලා, how we can give you marks without reading? So therefore make sure when you are writing, I don't want me මුතු කැට පිණි කැට වගේ අකුරු, I don't want, my handwriting is also ugly, but it should be readable, legible. We call it as legible. Writing should be legible. So you should be able to explain this performance management, why performance management is not performance appraisal, because performance appraisal is the base of performance management, and where the performance appraisal stops, the performance management starts. I explained that one. Having those two ideas in your mind, explain your answer, definitely you get full marks, because then I know you have listened to my lectures very well, and because that is not in the note. That is not in the note, that I have not mentioned in the note where the performance appraisal stops, the performance management starts. Or I have not explained where the performance appraisal is the base of performance management. It is not in the note. It is what I have explained. So based on these things, you have to study. And the things, this one also I told you, it is important for you to study, and the process of management. So normally that's up to that level I'm normally doing. So from the next day onwards, I will be starting up with the other slides. So the strategic plan and this process. So therefore, if you have any questions today, you can ask right now from the things what we have learned today. Any questions? Hopefully you don't have any questions. I believe everything is very clear. Okay, so then if you don't have any questions, I'm going to stop the session as it's almost 11:01. Okay, then have a good night. So thank you very much for joining. Thanks. Have a good night.
Good night.
Okay, good night.